Hello YouTube, welcome to my channel. I'm Scholargamernerd, and this video is a recommendation of one of my favorite books of all time, The Four Agreements. The reason why I chose to do this book first is because this book truly shifted my thinking around toxic relationships, around self-acceptance and self-love, and ultimately I would say it marks the transition for me being like a victim mentality type of person to having a growth mindset, and that's really what I want for you. So as your humble servant, I hope you accept this video as a gift of my knowledge on your search for infinite wisdom, because that's what I'm after. So let's get right to it. So the book is titled The Four Agreements, A Practical Guide to Personal Freedom by Don Miguel Ruiz, who's a very famous, kind of well-known author in the field of self-improvement, self-development, self-help. And today I'm going to tell you why I chose to read this book, the lessons that I got from this book, and who I believe will benefit from reading this book. So with that being said, let's get to point number one. Why did I choose to read this book? So I found myself in a very dark place a few years back, and I kind of didn't respond well to criticism, whether it was constructive or not. I was a very toxic person, and it took a deep look in the mirror for me to realize that, you know what, that's not the person you want to be, SGN. That's not the person you want to be, Angel. So I read this book. It was recommended to me by a mentor, and boy, was it transformational, right? It led me to live a less stressful life, a drama-free life, if you will. So if you're tired of the drama, right, like the interpersonal drama, whether it's with family, friends, toxic colleagues, this is a great book. So I would strongly recommend it because it helps you understand people's dispositions, people's almost psychology and emotional poison, right? That's the actual word that the author uses, emotional poison, and how people spit it out, okay? So that's why I read this book. I just basically was in my head and I wanted a solution to dealing with toxic people and dealing with my toxic self at the time. So what happened? I read the book and I learned two very important lessons. Now, let me say that there are dozens of gems and lessons and just so much wisdom in this book. But this is not a summary. This is not a review. I'm just going to share with you my takeaways, okay? The first one is the first agreement, which is be impeccable with your word. What does that mean? That means that you must say what you mean and mean what you say. Why does this matter? This matters because when your words do not match your actions, there is a disconnect, right? And it could lead people to think that you're fake, or even worse, you're manipulative, and you don't want that. The second point why this matters is because, according to the author, what you speak can create a dream, either the dream of heaven or the dream of hell. And that to me was just mind-boggling, right? So sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will and in fact do hurt people. More importantly, they hurt you. So it's important to watch what we say, how we say it, right? Be very calibrated with your word. Now, the second lesson that I learned is the second agreement, which is don't take things personally. Now, this was tough, right? Because it's easy to say, but SGN, that was directed at me. How could I not take it personally? Let me tell you why. According to the author, when people say things, it is a reflection of themselves and how they feel. Now, here's the catch though. If someone says something negative to you and you react, right, you get triggered off of that statement, that means that subconsciously or maybe consciously, you have an emotional attachment to that statement. So you have not liberated yourself from that idea. Let me give you an example. Someone calls you ugly, right? And you're like, what? I'm not ugly, right? You have a overly emotional reaction. According to the author, this means that you might actually be in agreement with that idea because we don't react to things that we are not emotionally attached to. So that one hit me like a ton of bricks as well. I was like, whoa. So when people state something that I'm not fully in agreement with and I have an overly emotional reaction, that says more about me than it does about what they are saying. That's deep. Now, to my final point, who can benefit from reading this book? In my opinion, scholars, gamers, and nerds, whoever's watching, whether you're a teenager, a college student, a working adult, no matter where you're at in life, I think that someone looking to improve their interpersonal relationships, whether that's with your girlfriend, boyfriend, wife, husband, partner, friends, colleagues, etc., could benefit greatly from reading this book, I promise you. And secondly, I would say an entrepreneurial individual who wants to work in a leadership position, whether that's your own company, your own school, your own organization, right? You want to lead people, you want to work with a diverse group of people, right? In terms of culture, in terms of mindset, in terms of lifestyle, this could be a great book for you because it'll teach you how to build healthier relationships with people. And ultimately, I think that's what we all want. All right, SGM family. So that about does it for this book recommendation. Now, before I let you go, I want to say thank you for all the love and support that you all have given me throughout the duration of this channel. Thank you for riding with me through the different ups and downs and the evolution of my thinking, so on and so forth. But before I leave you today, I'm going to ask you for two small favors. The first one is, if you can please drop a like or consider subscribing to this channel, I would really appreciate that. And the second favor is, if you can please tell me what your favorite book is and why. Maybe make a suggestion in the comment box below as to what book I should read next. I would really appreciate that. That's all I have for you today. Don't forget to be a scholar first, gamer second, and a nerd always. Peace.